Okay, so welcome, Adina. I thought I'd shoot a quick video so you can get an idea of what exactly I was talking about on the phone yesterday. So I've developed a program that I call Construction Profit System, which is really just a catchy title, and it is a process that I've used time and time again, both in companies that I've managed and companies that I've mentored through the process to help them grow bottom line profits, which ultimately is what we all want to achieve in business. So who is this for? This is for anyone who owns or manages a construction or consulting business who are looking to take that business to the next level and make more money. So it doesn't matter whether you're starting out and wondering how do you grow your business, or maybe you've been in business for a long time and you're looking to take it to the next level, or feel that maybe things are stagnating or not going the way that you want or as quickly as you want it. This is going to be of benefit for you, because in the next, well, it won't be 45 minutes. I'm going to try and really fly through this presentation. I'm going to show you how you can generate consistent high quality leads on autopilot for your business without you having to take time away from doing what actually earns you money. I'm going to show you how to get out of the competitive tendering trap or bidding for work, and how to close 30 to 40% of every single job that you price. How to increase your profit margins by up to 100% without having to work any harder, and how to raise your margins and attract premium clients who will not haggle on price and who will truly appreciate the service that you provide for them. So the promise over the next couple of minutes is I'm genuinely going to show you 3 steps that anybody can implement into their business to grow your profits 100% and beyond. And to be honest, that is the bare minimum. Most companies that go through this process, most consultants that have used this process, have seen hundreds of % of increase in bottom line profits. So nothing for sale on this, but I do have a cool gift. If you want to come back to me, what I'm going to do is give you the Construction Profit System calculator, so you can look at your own business and figure out how many leads do I need to generate, what is my conversion rate, and what is my average margin, and you can start really implementing this into your business. So does this sound like you have some months where the cash seems to pour into your business, but you can't maintain it? Your business is either a feast or a famine. You've too much work on, but before you know it, you've been so busy concentrating on actually doing work that you're desperate for work and potentially burning cash and tendering at low margins, or putting in low fee proposals to keep your teams going? Do you spend or seem to spend vast amounts of time bidding for work with low conversion rates, when really what you want is for clients to come and negotiate work with you? If you feel like you know your work is more than what you're charging, but you're afraid that if you raise your prices, no one will pay them, if that feels like where you are now, this is going to really help you. Or do you sometimes feel that you're stuck in a low margin business, or a business that's not easy to scale, where everything seems to revolve around you, the key person, and it drains your cash flow and potentially it's stressing you out, and that you're working way too hard in your business, too many hours, burning yourself out for too little reward? Basically, do you feel like there's an invisible ceiling on your income? I mean, this is the number one thing that I think a lot of people find. They get their business to a certain level, but they can't seem to get it beyond that. And I call it the invisible ceiling on your income. Because the real problem for most business owners that I've come across is they haven't made 3 critical shifts in their business. And I call them the shifts, because we seem to focus on anything but the core drivers of profit in our business, which I'm going to explain. So once you've made it, once you've implemented these 3 things in your business, which you can do from what I'm going to teach you over this next couple of minutes, you will transform profits in your business. You can see up to 100% improvement in bottom line profits in a short space of time. You will have total control over who you work with and the prices that you command. You will attract premium clients by using marketing that establishes you as the number 1 contractor or consultant in your market. You can generate clients on demand by using a system for generating leads on autopilot, leaving you to focus on the things that truly drive profits in your business. You can step out of the tender trap and get clients to negotiate work with you, even though your price won't be the lowest. You can grow your business even while bidding less, because you'll have a system that allows you to close a minimum of 1 in every 3 projects or consulting projects that you'll put in a fee proposal for. You'll realize that the invisible ceiling on your income was never even there to begin with, and you'll push through 5 and 6 figures of net income per month, and that's dollars, faster than you ever thought possible. And I'm going to show you a case study where one contractor saw an 8,000% increase in bottom line profits by applying these 3 simple shifts into their business. And it's stuff you're already doing, but I'm going to teach you how to do it more effectively. And you'll do all of this whilst tapping back into the joy that you first had when starting out, allowing you to fulfill your true potential as a business person. So the one thing that you need to know is, as I mentioned earlier, there are only 3 simple shifts that you need to make to hit 6 figures of net income per month while working less and delivering even better results for your clients. And I'm going to walk you through exactly how to make those shifts today. I suppose, why would you listen to me? So I've got 22 years experience, a lot of it spent as a commercial director, managing director and CEO. And I studied engineering and then law, or construction management specifically. But what I realized early on in my career, once I got up to a C-level executive, is it's all about bringing in the right quality of lead, converting that lead and earning a high margin. I mean, that's ultimately what drives profits. So I have dedicated the last 10 years of my life to becoming, I guess, an expert in sales. And I've closed personally over 1 billion of sales. And I use the word carefully closed because this isn't work that I've tendered for. This is work that we've negotiated and got across the line because of the exact 3 shifts that I'm going to teach you. And I've helped multiple companies grow their profits by more than 100% inside 12 months. And I don't know what that would mean for your business, but in any event, 100% increase typically has a profoundly positive impact on most businesses. And I mean, I've used this exact system to set up and build a 300 million housing business from scratch, from nothing, having never traded this business before in 2017. And not only won work, but got bonding and got partners to come on board. Because my speciality is helping construction companies generate, to convert more of what they bid. Generate more leads, convert more of what they bid, and raise their margins so they can make more money and serve their clients at a higher level. Because ultimately, that's what drives me in business, is serving my clients at the highest possible level. So discovering the 3 shifts, okay? So 3 key shifts, and I'm going to take you through them now in this session. So the first thing is that 99% of construction companies and consultants are terrible at marketing. And if that resonates with you, if you've spent maybe no time, maybe some time, maybe a lot of time marketing and feel that it's not been effective, you're not alone. Because the number one challenge for construction companies and consulting businesses is winning new business. Typically, we're very good at what we do. We're very good as consultants. We're very good as lawyers. We're very good as contractors, and we love doing that, but we always seem to have this feast or famine approach where we're wondering, where's our next work going to come from? And it's been overwhelmingly, through a survey through Dexter and Cheney, been the number one challenge for construction and consulting companies is that challenge of winning new business. But if you learn how to market online, you will have an endless supply of qualified leads. So typically, we use networking, we use hard business development, we use, one-on-one meetings to try and generate leads. Well, I want to show you a system where you can actually generate leads on autopilot and often 24/7. So there's 3 simple shifts. I call it the 3 levers of profit in construction or consulting. The first shift is become a specialist and use Google effectively. The second is to master sales to increase your conversions. And the third is to move from low margin to charging premium pricing. Think of this like a compound interest formula. More tenders by increased tender conversion by higher margins equals massively increased profits, or more bid proposals by increased bid proposal conversion by higher margins equals massively. So this is a paving contract example, which is a real example from David Driveway, a company that went through construction profit system. And obviously a driveways contract is going to do a lot of bidding, and he was based in Dublin in Ireland. So typically he was doing 150 bids a year. The average project value was 25. He had a 10% close rate, which isn't untypical, and he typically worked off a 15% margin. He was making about $55,000 a year. He implemented the exact 3 shifts I'm about to show you, and this was the actual net result on his earnings. So we were generating more leads. He was getting 300 bids in a year. Project value didn't change, but his close rate went up to 20%, and he was able to increase his margin by 5% to 20% because he was being perceived as a specialist, which is the first shift I'm going to teach you how to implement in your business. But look at the difference on his net profit. It went from 55 or 56,000 to 300,000, 600% more. And this is not untypical because it's the compound effect of more bids, higher closing rate, and a slightly higher margin because you're perceived as being a specialist. This has an exponential impact because it's the power of the compounding effect. So it's seen as the miracle, as Warren Buffett calls it, the miracle of finance, that if you had invested $1 a day from the day that you were born, over your lifetime, that $1 a day would have compounded at a 9% interest to over a million, just short of 1.1 million. So that's the power of looking at these three levers in your business. So the first of these shifts, the first key lever of profit, is to become a specialist and master Google. So most people go out and they do a website and they get absolutely no leads from it. It gives them no ROI because they don't utilize Google. And in order to be effective in terms of getting found through Google, you need to do something very specific. But if you get it right, you're going to develop a free source of leads, and you're going to get the right type of leads, because the search process that people go through in Google, it's a defined search term. People search for a specific term. And most companies fail with Google SEO or Google AdWords because they do not follow a strategy of becoming a specialist so that Google can easily find you. So, what is the difference between a general practitioner? And typically as contractors or consultants, we're general practitioners. We'll take on anything. We'll do everything. And we think that's how we need to survive in business. Well, it's the absolute opposite. If you ultimately want to make a lot of money from your business, and making money is not a bad thing because it gives you the opportunity to grow, invest your business and do great things and ultimately earn more money. But a typical family doctor, a general practitioner in the States, earns $176,000, where a surgeon who's probably only spent an extra year in training, earns on average 300% more than the general practitioner, simply because they're seen and perceived as being a specialist. And if you went to a family doctor and he wanted to charge you any more than 70, 80, 90 bucks for that consultation, you're going to be aghast. Whereas if you go to a cardiovascular specialist and he charges you 300, you're going to say that's normal, because he's a specialist. So what is the strategy of a specialist? You're moving from lowest price to premium pricing, chasing turnover to actually focusing on profits, to maybe looking at adversarial relationships where you're tendering on lowest price wins, to partnerships, long-term partnerships, from being opportunistic, chasing everything, to operating with total integrity because you're seen and perceived as the best at what you do, from going from a position maybe of getting it done to focusing on being the absolute best in your industry, from looking at low profits to high profits, and from thinking my clients won't pay me more to going in knowing that they're going to pay you more. You need to operate a strategy specialization or a strategy of becoming a specialist, because you need to become known as the go-to contractor or consultants in target sectors or areas, the number one person in that sector, because it's far easier to be a leader in 2 to 3 sectors as opposed to be average across 10. And it's the curse of construction and consulting. Not all work is equal. We tend to think because we've got this broad skill set, we should do anything, but you can't get economies of scale. You can't create leverage. You can't create momentum in your business if you're constantly taking teams from maybe a school and putting them on a hotel and onto a hospital, where they continuously make all of these errors, to becoming known as the number one education contractor in South Africa, where everybody, every time they think of education, they think of you. Now your teams have got the experience, you've got the processes, you've got the supply chain, you've got the partners, you've got the equipment. Or if you're a consultant, you want to take all of that design documentation and move it from school to school to school. You're still charging an overall fee proposal, but your volume, your leverage is exponentially greater because you're seen as a specialist. Because the key to massive success in increasing your profits is knowing which projects consistently make you money and finding customers with more of those projects. So it's really about knuckling down and saying, I'm going to become the number one contractor in that space, the specialist. And it either can be in a particular discipline or it can be in a particular region. Obviously, if you're operating in a large city, it's going to be a number of sectors. If you're operating in a small town, you want to become known as the number one contractor consultant in that town. So typically we see people that go from a position of struggling to get tender inquiries and doing a lot of ineffective marketing to where they will be after following this strategy, which is getting an endless supply of leads through Google. And this is just one of the factors. I mean, obviously the 3 shifts that I'm teaching you here are part of an overall program called Construction Profit System. There's 9 key modules to that, but this is a key module, and that's utilizing Google so that you get seen and you get leads. So this is a contractor, Kevin Cooney, and before Kevin went through Construction Profit System, he was all over the show in terms of his marketing, and it wasn't getting any ROI or effective return. So what we did is we said, let's become or position you as the number one house builder in your specific area, which actually was in Wexford, Ireland. So the strategy of this is to get yourself on number one of Google. And again, if you're broad, it's impossible to get to a point where you're number one on Google. But the more specific you are about what you do, the area of speciality that you're going to focus on, then we can start to use specific tactics like SEO optimization, which is very, very cheap to do, to get you noticed and ranked on the first page of Google so that it generates leads for you. So we got Kevin to a point where within a matter of 2 to 3 months, because he had got the right website, it was positioning him as a specialist, because we had the right keywords, and because it had the right search engine optimization, literally within a couple of months, Kevin started appearing as #1. Every time anybody put a search term for building contractors in Wexford or general contractors in Wexford,